Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the country's biggest stars, some of our biggest legends and some of my favourite people, and we tick every box today. Sol Campbell is an England football legend, a successful business owner, and we're delighted to talk to him today. How are you, Sol?
Oh, very good. Very good.
It's really nice to talk to you. Let's do the business side of it first. I mean, you've made yourself into this sort of modern day entrepreneur, but of course what comes with that is all this cybersecurity issue. There's a new research by YouGov on behalf of Barclays, and it's quite worrying. Over 50,000 people have been put out of jobs because of cybercrime. That's extraordinary.
Yeah, because, obviously with the SMEs, small, medium-sized enterprises, it's on average losing £35,000. So that is a big ask for, a big hole to kind of claw back through business, and that could put a business under extreme pressure or take them out of business as well. So this is a huge thing. Cybercrime is massive, widespread, very intricate, very sophisticated now, mimicking bosses and putting people. These fraudsters are very, very clever now, and all this phishing and spare emails and things like that is, But Barclays, last 2 years have had their adverts out, and I did something yesterday for them in Stratford, my hometown, talking to small, medium-sized enterprises about my business and how things have happened and things to put in place. Businesses every day, every week being attacked. So you've got to have a lot of things in place to help and talk to new employees. They know when new employees come into the company, things like that, to maybe dealing with the money. So it's very difficult. You've got to stay on top of it.
It's interesting. My entire business is web-based, and I looked at my login attempts, and I've had thousands in the last month of login attempts, actually mostly from Russia, bizarrely. People trying to get in, presumably trying to bring it down. How do we stop that? Because they're far cleverer than me. I'm just hoping the people I keep my website and web servers with are smart enough to outwit these people.
Yeah, I think, you can do, so much, having a strong defence and changing the passwords, upper and lower cases and, numbers and symbols and mixing it up a little bit. Antivirus software, always good. Firewall, updating your software, deleting unsolicited emails and links and attachments and things like that. Talking to people who are working in your circle or who are new into your circle, and also reaffirming. Some people think, nothing's happened for the last 2-3 months, and just reaffirming that and making sure you stay on top of that, and just a nice team meeting, things like that is always good to kind of the knowledge and guidance, and Barclays, look at their website and check them out and see what they can do. Barclays.co.uk, and click on their business banking tab. So there's things out there and things personally you can do yourself. It's just trying to kind of do as much as you can. It's an important part. It's almost now, it's a business that you have to deal with.
Exactly. And at £40 billion cost to date, this is not to be sniffed at, putting tons of people out of work. As you say, you can find out more by going to the Barclays business website, .co.uk. Can I talk about you? We met briefly many, many years ago. I launched a radio station called Century, where I did a phone-in with Larry Lloyd, and you appeared on there. I'm fascinated by you. You seem one of the smartest footballers in history. Did you always know that you'd sort of got great smarts as well as great talent on the pitch?
For me, I think talent and intelligence is everywhere. It's not just in amazing areas or lovely kind of upbringing. I think intelligence and awareness is everywhere. It's just how it is nurtured. And I'm from East London. Working class background. I've not had. I've had an okay kind of education. I wish I could have done more, but obviously football took over. But, I was always interested in a lot of different things. I used to look at the local paper and see how low I can go in buying a house, even though I didn't have no money to buy a house at 10 years old, looking at the local paper. But I think I'm very inquisitive. I've got drive. Football took over. I want to get back into football. I'd love to get back into football in some way, capacity. But obviously, with business, it was numbers that were kind of not a problem for me, and also a little bit of risque attached to that. You need a little bit of risk and managing your risk of going for something or saying I'll leave that alone. So also a good business is also choosing the right decisions, and that's key as well. When a heated situation comes on, you either hold fast or you go for it. I think that's good for business to be able to gauge that as well.
I also love you're a man of principle and have been very outspoken in the past politically. I just want to touch on a couple of things. I noticed your parents were from Jamaican background. I wonder if they're caught up in this Windrush stuff, or people who are. It is quite appalling, and I'm embarrassed on behalf of this country that we're even having this conversation.
For me, my mother and father has passed away, and lucky that didn't happen to them. But I've seen I've seen the news, I've seen the fallout, I've seen Lammy's great speech in Parliament. Those kind of things. It's a shame, and I've seen people. Yes, the government has kind of rectified it, but it's all about the follow through. Is it going to happen? I think at the moment is a hot topic, but how it's happened, and it has happened. It's a shame that it's happened, because these Windrush, I'm seeing not allowing treatment and things like that, sometimes not allowing back into the country because of technicality. Hopefully that all get ironed out, but it's because it happened, losing all they found some of the landing cards and things like that. It's a bit of a mess, and hopefully they can get to the bottom of it and rectify all the wrongs, because it's sad to the British subjects and everyone involved. It is a sad day, and hopefully it will get rectified. You
mentioned Lammy earlier. I put you in the same category as him. You're a real person who has real opinions. Can we sort of get you back into politics? Is there any hope? Because we need real people to represent us.
I think for me, the whole situation, I'm not going to, I want to be in management. I don't want to confuse the situation again. I'm sure there's plenty of guys who can, and women who have aspirational kind of, and they want to do something in the country, for the community, for the city, and those guys should get an opportunity. For me, it was a space and time. If I really was into it, I'd be still into it. I think for me, helping out whenever I can is key. But for me, being full-time, people like Lammy, hopefully there's more guys like him around.
And I wonder, you mentioned earlier East London, such an awful time in London right now. How do you feel as a man of colour what's going on, whether we look at Grenfell and the treatment of those people, the Stephen Lawrence anniversary, or of course the current issues with knife crime that's going on? Is there hope for London? Do you despair at what's going on around you?
I think for me, when you look at London, the diversity of people in London is incredible, and it's something to be championed. And look, you have to look after that as well. But when you go to, you look at diversity in the way, say, jobs are spread around and opportunities, that is where I think London is failing and needs to do more. I think once you start getting that organised and people can actually see a future from whatever background you are from, I think that's the key. London has been built on diversity. Over the years, different sections of around the world have come in and boosted the economy or filled in a space and things like that. That's key, and that should continue. I think it's the diversity of jobs and opportunities going forward. Yes, that you could say that about up and down the country quite easily, but that has to. Someone needs to be able to say, do you know what? I can make it in in not just a footballer or singer, I can make it another industry in London. And that's key, to have that possibility of making it.
And very finally, it seems to me that your talent always outshone anything to do with race or sex or any of those other issues that we've been discussing. Was that always the case, that you were sort of always taken for what you could do, not what you looked like?
Yeah, I'm from Stratford, Plaistow, brought up in a working class area, rough and ready. How I look at that, I saw a lot of stuff when I was growing up. A lot of stuff that I don't want my kids to see growing up. But I'm from the area and I've made it. Yes, I've made it through football, but I had, obviously got a mind, and I've got a inquisitive mind. So if I'm from the area, I know there's other guys and girls like that in those areas. So that's why I like to be, help out wherever I can.
I wish we could talk longer, but we've got to go. Thank you so much for your time, Sol Campbell. Really great time, and good luck with everything. Let's talk again soon.
Thank you very much.